Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. One more time. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om.
And the Sufis applaud like this, not to break the energy. Thank you so much, songbirds. That was beautiful. Well, welcome, everyone, to our very special day of sacred ground. As you cross the threshold of this holy place, as you entered in and you were given a beautiful bag of accoutrements for today, you stepped onto holy ground. And we will create a beautiful sacred space together as we move through what is going to be a little bit of a different Sunday for some of you. So welcome. Happy solstice for those of you that honor the earth-based traditions. And happy Father's Day for those of you that honor the Hallmark traditions. I want to thank you for joining us today on Sacred Ground. We gather from different backgrounds, beliefs, and experiences with a shared intention. Peace within ourselves, peace among communities, and peace in the world. And today we honor both our diversity and our common humanity as not only an honor, but a practice of peace today. And so this morning we'll be treating you with different readings, different practices. And the first practice is going to be generously done by Christine Green, who will be doing a sound bath for you. And so you're invited, as she plays her bowls, you are invited to let it sink in. Let it just gently caress your bones and your blood and your flesh as she plays the sound bowls. Christine? Thank you, Christine. We have a tradition in this community where we light the flames of faith, where we honor all traditions. We have a central candle that represents that light within us that can serve as a reminder of the small acts of compassion that can overcome division. And so now I'd like to invite practitioner Jill forward and Reverend Dr. Cynthia Cavalcanti to do our Flames of Faith ritual.
Good morning. As Dr. Alice said, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and this experience which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the way of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Jill Burnett lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And practitioner Kathy Story will now read a beautiful peace prayer.
Okay, I'm going to need your help on this. If you look in the pamphlet here, you will find your part is italicized. This is the prayer of St. Francis, a version of it. Lord, make me a channel of thy peace, that where there is hatred, I may bring love, so there is peace. That where there is wrong, I may bring the spirit of forgiveness. That where there is discord, I may bring harmony. That where there is error, I may bring truth. That where there is doubt, I may bring faith. That where there is despair, I may bring hope. That where there are shadows, I may bring light. And where there is sadness, I may bring joy. Lord, grant that I may seek rather to comfort than to be comforted, to understand than to be understood, to love than to be loved. For it is by self-forgetting that one finds. It is by forgiving that one is forgiven. It is by dying that one awakens to eternal life. And so it is.
Thank you, Kathy. And now we have a beautiful treat for you. We have invited Brother Thomas Kugler to join us. Brother Thomas is a retired United Church of Christ minister who is a practicing Buddhist, and he will treat us to a Buddhist meditation. Welcome, Brother Thomas.
This is on. It's great to be here with each of you. We're very fortunate to have this service today, to be reminded of some of the beauty that's within our lives. And thank you for inviting me. I'd like to begin by asking a few questions for our discernment. Actually, these could be boiled down into one question, and that is, does the awareness that the Buddha had closer? Thank you for teaching me. Does the awareness that the, I think I'll do without the mic. So we'll get down. I don't need the microphone. Can you all hear me? Yes. I've done this for 35 years straight, and it's been about 12 or 13 since that time. So bear with me. The question that I want to address at the beginning is, does the awareness that the Buddha developed after he became enlightened match our awareness? To begin with, the Buddha realized that every one of us is full of qualities within us, natural qualities, that if we recognize them and use them to manage, control our own lives, and give them out to the world, we'll create goodness. I'm guessing that some of you are aware that you have a quality called, well, it allows you to find deep peace within you. I'm guessing that each of you have a quality that allows you to have as much patience as you need to have. It's there, you just have to recognize it, right? I'm guessing that each of us have an abundant amount of kindness that we can give to ourselves and give to the rest of the world if we choose to recognize that it's there, and it's maybe the thing that's going to make us happy in the long term. I'm guessing that each one of you has a deep amount of courage to overcome some of what we might refer to as disease or confusion. I'm guessing that each of you have tenderness, gentleness, wisdom, generosity. The Bible calls these the fruits of the Spirit, right? And our opportunity is to see them within us and give them out. Does your awareness match the Buddha's awareness? Second thing I want to bring up is that the Buddha realized is that each one of us is the way we are. The way we see life, the way we when you had benevolent experiences in your life that allowed you to be the benevolent person that you know you can be. We also had these other experiences that caused us to be confused. It's important that we understand also that many of these causes and conditions that have influenced our habits, our mental formation, are really caused by the culture that we're a part of, right? And it's our opportunity to see beyond the cultural influences or the influencers, I think they're called these days, the influencers. We can see beyond that and recognize the goodness qualities within us that can set us free from our struggle. Right? I think the last thing that I want to mention that the Buddha realized is that the way we see life, the way we see ourselves, the way we criticize ourselves and other people, it doesn't allow us to see life and ourselves as we really are. We're stuck, right? The opportunity is for us to let it go, drop our story, right? Let's take a few minutes in meditation. And I invite you to relax. Just be. Get your back comfortably straight. Your hands in the kind of position that you feel comfortable meditating in. Maybe your palms are up on your lap or in prayer position or something else that you know. And let's just focus in two places. Focus on the energy within your body. There's a lot. And also on your breath. And just relax and feel your body breathing itself if you're able to do that. If there's any tension anywhere that you feel in your body, your hands, your legs, feet, whatever, just give it tenderness. You've got a lot of it. And there's a couple of things that I'm inviting you to also realize while you focus within your body on your breath. You may realize in that experience something that you call stillness. Or you may realize
Thank you, Brother Thomas. And now it's time for some music. And now we can begin to applaud. So let's bring up our soloist, Jackie Simone Elliott.
Thank you. This is so beautiful, this whole service. And Dr. Alice, thank you for reminding us that the ground that we walk on is holy ground. Thank you for that. This is a chant, everybody.
How about some joy? Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Be still and know that I am joy within you. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. Be still and know that I am joy within you. Still, peace, be still, peace, be still, peace, be still, peace.
Thank you.
Namaste. Peace, be still.
Peace be still. Thank you so much. I want to invite our Baha'i representative, Jean Quinn, to come up and share peace as a practice from a Baha'i perspective. Welcome, Jean Quinn.
Hello. It's a real honor to be invited to speak today. I'm going to have to cover the conceptual before we get into the practice. The key to peace, according to the Baha'i scriptures, is justice. That moral integrity that balances rule of law with compassion. It's equity, it's fairness. Look at it this way. If you're in a transaction and you feel like you're being treated fairly and the others involved feel like they're being treated fairly, the outcome is a peaceful transaction, right? So the question becomes one of scalability. We can understand how it works at an individual level, And we can understand that if we have a community that strives for fairness and justice for their membership, for their new membership, or how it interacts with another community, the outcome is peace. And can you imagine if we had institutions that had that notion of justice at the center of their deliberations? The world would be a very different place. So how do we scale that? According to the Baha'i writings, the key is in the concept of the oneness of humanity. Because let's face it, you treat your cousins differently when you know you're going to be talking to grandma later that week. We are all family, and isn't it a wonderful thing to know that that's an established scientific, biological, chemical, physical, philosophical, spiritual fact? We don't even have to decide whether or not it's true. We already know it's true. So our job is to integrate it in our thoughts and our words and our actions. In fact, this concept is so important in Baha'i faith that it says it is the pivot round which all of Baha'u'llah's teachings revolve. Let me give you one example, because if we believe in this chain of the oneness of humanity provides justice, and justice is the key to resilient peace, we'll just make that straight line. And for Baha'is, if it's all revolving around that concept, just the mere trying to be a follower of Baha'u'llah is a practice in peace by that logic. Let me give you an example of one of the teachings of Baha'u'llah. We are asked to bring yourself to account each day. So that's simple enough as a practice. Review your day and decide, where did I fall short and where did I do well? Now, this is not about beating yourself up or self-aggrandizement. No, it's about a reminder of that humble posture of learning becomes a habit. And it also allows us to be reminded of our innate nobility simply because we are spiritual beings having a physical existence, just like everybody else. I'm going to offer you a personal practice I have for this. It's based in Baha'i stuff, but this is genes. I learned it from my mom. Whenever you get full of yourself or discouraged by the world or really disappointed in certain people, well, when that happens to me, I go to a crowded place and I do this. That person is unique and beloved by God, whether they know it or not. Sometimes I don't add that. That person is unique and beloved by God. That person is unique and beloved by God. That person is unique and beloved by God. And I go through this until I get my head back on straight. So that's an individual practice. But we also have to consider the collective. How Baha'is, in particular, approach this idea. We have a tool in our toolkit that I'm going to, for the purposes of this talk, refer to it as Baha'i consultation. In the writings, it's just called consultation. But there are certain features of this kind of consultation that will might seem out of the mainstream from your experience. So let's see what they are. I did have to write down my notes because I was told 7 minutes. When we have even just a nucleus of people who are working on a particular little thing, or a community trying to build a unity of vision and purpose, or an institution trying to make long-term plans or goals or address a problem that is affecting lots of people, we turn to consultation, and here are some of the features that might be different than your experience. First off, we need to hear from everyone. That includes the youth and those crazy fringy artists and people whose language skills in English aren't so good, and people with experience and expertise, and that poor little 6-year-old that got dragged along to the meeting. We need to hear from them because there's so many facets to what we're doing, what we're exploring. In fact, the Baha'i writings say, through the clash of differing opinions shall come the spark of truth. So we need to hear from everyone. I do also want to point out that the spark is just the beginning of how we cook with gas. It's not the whole thing. We also require we ask for a certain amount of detachment as we express our views. For example, let me think. I wrote these notes, really, I did. We are asked to present our ideas with courtesy and loving frankness. However, we're asked as listeners to listen for content and not put so much emphasis on who or the how it's presented. That's two sides of the same coin, both presenting their own challenges. We even go so far as trying to avoid identifying an idea by a name. I like Jay's idea because, or Joe's idea has this problem. We try to identify the ideas by some other attribute because this isn't about Jay or Joe. This is about getting to the heart, getting to the reality of what we're trying to do. In Baha'i consultation, that is our goal, consensus and unity around whatever's being discussed. Because compromise isn't the goal. A series of quid pro quo is not the goal. The idea of negotiation or that kind of struggle, or, God forbid, winning the debate, I am the smartest person in the room, does not conduce to getting to the heart of the matter. And finally, when we do have to take a vote, and I'll tell you, most of the time we come to consensus and it's unanimous. But when we do have to take a vote, in Baha'i consultation, those people who are of minority opinions are still asked to align and support. And the wisdom, as far as my understanding is, to this is because when a problem appears down the road, if we're coming from a unified point of view, it's only the problem we have to address. And it's not obscured by backbiting or non-support or someone pulling the resources away. We can see what the real problem is. And by aiming for that at the individual level, at the communal level, at the institutional level, we are aiming for something different. That's the oneness of humanity, which creates fairness. And fairness is inevitable outcome is peace at all levels. Thank you. Yabahau Labha.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was very enlightening. I want to bring Jackie Simone Elliott back up to treat us to some more music.
Okay, I have to share really quickly. When Karen asked me, well, she called and said, Jackie Simone, we're doing a special service today about peace. And the voice said to me, write a peace chant. I'd never written a peace chant before, so I was filled with so much anxiety, and even during rehearsal, so much anxiety. And the voice said, dear child, surrender. I was met with so much love. These guys were so loving. Karen was so loving. I was so nervous that instead of sending her an audio file and the chart, I sent her 2 audio files thinking I sent them both. But love met me upon surrendering to love and peace. 3, 2, 1. By the way, I love you. Wanted peace, didn't know where to find it. Was closer than my breath, but my eyes were blinded. Trouble seemed mounted up. My love and I had parted separate ways. I felt so alone. Darkness filled my days. Oh, the voice said, watch where you place your attention. Love is everywhere in peace dimension. Keep thine eye single. Surrender. And then when I became still and quiet, yeah, I knew prayer was the answer. I couldn't deny it. No, 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 no. I tried it my way. I'm gonna let go and let God have His own way. Keep thine eye single. Surrender. Keep thine eye single. Surrender. I surrender. I surrender all.
surrender. It's not at all a sacrifice to keep the not single. Yeah, surrender. It's a choice between living in a hell and a paradise. Keep the not single. Surrender. I'm gonna keep the not single. Surrender. Hey, keep my not single. Yeah. Peace be still. Surrender. Thank you. And my beautiful loves. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie Simone, and thank you, band. We really appreciate you. We've heard the Baha'i perspective on peace. We've heard a Buddhist practice of peace, and now I'm going to invite up a gal. Many of you know her as a practitioner here, but she's also a practicing Jew. So I want to invite Bonnie Charney up.
Thank you. That we have one small synagogue here in San Clemente, and the rabbi just happens to be on vacation. But he was kind enough to send me a text, and I would like to read it for you, and then I would like to read a poem for you. This is from the rabbi. It's called Jewish Peace. One of the most beautiful teachings in Judaism is our commitment to peace. In fact, the Mishnah teaches that the entire purpose of the Torah is to bring peace into the world. Our sages tell us, peace, great is peace, for all the blessings are contained within it. When Jews greet one another, we say shalom. When we part, we say shalom. One of the names of God himself is shalom. Because peace is not merely the absence of conflict, it is the presence of harmony, respect, and unity. Yet Judaism does not define peace as everyone being the same. True, peace comes when different people with different opinions and backgrounds learn to work toward a higher purpose. Just as an orchestra creates beautiful music from many different instruments, peace comes when our differences become part of something greater. This idea is captured in the song that is sung several times during a service. The Hebrew is, O say shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, v'yakol Israel, vimru amen. It's translated as, may the one who makes peace in the heavens make peace upon us, upon all Israel, and upon all humanity. The heavens themselves contain opposites, fire and water, sun and moon, yet God brings harmony among them. We pray that he helps us bring that same harmony into our homes, our communities, and our world. May we be blessed to be makers of peace, spreading kindness, understanding, and love wherever we go. And the rabbi closes with the Hebrew, Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, v'yakol Israel, vimru, amen. And Dr. Alice gave me a beautiful poem. I gave it to the rabbi, and he keeps it on his desk. It is from Mirabai Starr's book, Wild Mercy. Now, I will not pronounce the name with a proper accent. The name of the poem is called O Shekinah. You have to get it down here, and I can't do that. But it goes, yours is the feminine face of the holy, the luminous moon who lights up the night as we travel from captivity to liberation, the pillar of fire who guides our way home, the cloud hovering over the mountain peaks, living signs that the drought is over. You are the indwelling presence of the divine. Wherever we gather to praise the one, you are here in our midst. When we cry out for justice, you make our hearts tender. When we stand with those on margins, you make our legs strong. When we create works of art and parent our children and harvest our gardens, you guide and sustain us. You are the Shabbat or Sabbath bride, the beloved returned from exile. You restore balance in our relationships and wholeness in our fragmented souls. You infuse our lovemaking with honey. You fill the cup of our hearts which tremble with longing. With the wine, you are answering love. You are the song of our homecoming. You are the Sabbath queen, the great mother, who sits at the heart of the table, tearing the hunks of the secret bread that contains the exact flavor that each of us loves best. You feed us all, the proud and the repentant, the believer and the skeptic, from your own hands. Your unconditional forgiveness dissolves otherness. O Shekinah, we are the vessel for your inflowing. Your radiance requires the day of our embodiment. Your flame burns at the core of the earth. Your warmth penetrates the seedbed and animates the seedling. You bless the head of every animal and kiss the tear-stained face of humanity. You are the vision that builds community, and you are our refuge when the fabric of community unravels. Be with us now as we navigate the landscape of mystery where your most cherished attributes, wild mercy and boundless compassion, righteousness and wisdom, seem to be cast aside and trampled by imperious world powers, and we are paralyzed by helplessness. Help us. May we remember you and lift you up. May we recognize your face and celebrate your beauty in everything and everyone, everywhere, always. Amen.
Thank you, Bonnie. Thank you for that. That was beautiful. And that poem is written by Mirabai Starr, who honors the Sabbath every Friday night when she lights the candle and calls in the Shekinah. Thank you. One of the ways that I personally have been embracing peace is by simply softening my heart. And one of the ways that I have found to soften my heart lately is by reading poetry. It's amazing when I take the time to allow my thoughts to still, to focus on some beautiful words, to focus on some ideas that may live in me, but I have not recognized them yet, has been a beautiful practice of softening my heart. And so I want to read a very short prose, and I'll share a little bit about it, and then we'll have just a few moments of stillness. This is an excerpt from a poem written by R.S. Thomas, and it's called The Untamed. And the author, Roger Houston, of this book, simply shares these two lines. The silence, it holds with its gloved hand the wild hawk of the mind. And Roger writes about that. The falconer wears a leather glove for his falcon to perch upon his hand before releasing it. Without the glove, the falcon could harm the falconer's hand. I like to think that the glove is our attention, which protects the silence. With our attention, the silence can hold the wild hawk of the mind and prevent it from running off on its own flights of fancy. The mind is indeed wild, and resting our attention in silence is part of its taming and its training. And so I'll invite the stillness with you with a bell, and then I'll invite you back with a bell. You may want to lower your gaze or close your eyes. Where is your attention? Bring it back to the breath. Thank you. And now I want to invite up Reverend Carla Shiradas, who is going to share with us a new thought practice of peace.
Good morning. I'm Carla Shiradas. I'm a minister at the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley, right here. And I have the privilege of sharing a brief reflection on peace through the perspective of our philosophy. We gather here today not merely to talk about peace, but to practice peace, to take some of these practices home with us and to embody them. We recognize that peace is not simply the absence of conflict, it is the presence of spirit. And Bonnie recited something that the rabbi said to us that was very similar. He said the same thing, but used the qualities of God as the word of spirit. All the qualities, the verities of the divine are that lead to our peace. My reading today comes from the Guide for Spiritual Living, the Science of Mind magazine, and it reminds us that gratitude opens the heart, love expands that opening, and peace naturally emerges as the expression of love. We believe that peace is an inside job, and from there, it radiates outward. And as the Dalai Lama reminds us, without inner peace, it is impossible to have world peace. And now our reading. Love expresses as peace. Peace is a natural expression of love when it settles deeply within our hearts and our minds. Peace is not the absence of challenge, nor the calm that appears only when life is easy. True peace is the presence of spirit abiding within us as a still, steady, sacred center remaining calm amidst life's inevitable motions. When we align our awareness to the presence of love that is spirit itself, we discover that peace is not something external to be pursued. It is our true nature. Today, bring your awareness to the breath and to the sacred presence that dwells at the core of your being. And in that silence, love's peace fills every corner of your consciousness. Let this inner peace become more expansive than any thought of worry or tension or fear. When your mind is unsettled, pause, breathe, and consciously choose love's calm response. This is not a temporary absence of disturbance, but an abiding presence of spirit that steadies our thoughts and opens our hearts to compassion and to clarity. Peace is not something we chase or achieve by effort alone. It is who we already are when we rest in Spirit's awareness. When we live from love's heart, peace naturally grows within us as it radiates from us in our every interaction. Let love and peace be inseparable companions throughout your day and every choice you make. This reading reminds us that peace isn't something that we manufacture. It already exists at our center, the center of our being. Our practice is simply returning to it. And I'd like to take you through a brief peace practice. And so if you would just allow yourselves to be comfortable and gently close your eyes. Take in a deep, slow breath. And now gently release it, allowing your shoulders to soften. Imagine a sacred center within you, a place untouched by worry, conflict, or fear. Breathe into that center. And now silently affirm to yourself, peace lives here. Love lives here. I rest in spirit. Again, gently breathing in, allowing yourself to rest in this awareness. And know that whenever there is unrest within us, we can return to this simple practice. We can return to the breath. We can return to the presence that is always available within us. And when you're ready, I invite you to gently open your eyes. And as I close this segment of our program this morning, we have a blessing for you that I'd like to deliver. We recognize the one life, the one love, the one peace that lives within every heart. We know that gratitude awakens love, and that love reveals peace. We know that peace is not distant, fragile, dependent upon any outer conditions. It is the very nature of spirit. It is the very nature of spirit expressing in and as us. And as we leave this gathering later today, may we become living demonstrations of peace through our thoughts and our words and our actions and our presence. May we carry peace into our homes. May we carry peace into our community. May we carry peace out into this world. And for this sacred opportunity to practice peace together, we are deeply, deeply grateful. And so it is.
And I want to thank you, Reverend Carla, and I want to thank all of our folks who came and gave us those nuggets of practice that we can take home with us. And I want to invite up for the last time our wonderful soloist, Jackie Simone Elliott. And I want to thank our band once again for their final piece.
This song was written by Ricky Byers. It's Om Shanti. Peace is being free, too, you know? Let there be peace
Let there be peace in my mind. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Om. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside my mind, God and only God I live to see. Peace inside my mind, God and only God is moving me. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Om. 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 Peace inside the earth, God and only God is moving me. Peace inside the earth, God and only God I love to see. Om, 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 om. When there is peace in my mind, there is peace in the earth.
Thank you so much. And I know that the band is usually gets a little break from the stage, and I think that's the last piece of music you'll be doing. So if you're ready, you guys want to get off the stage for a little bit, you're welcome to do that. Thank you. Right? There's no more music. Right, thank you. Let's give them a big hand. We have one more piece for you, and it's one more piece. And it is a ritual, so you'll be able to get up and move around a little bit. And I so appreciate you being here as we've been exploring peace in so many different ways. Indeed, we have been on sacred ground together, and we've been creating sacred ground. We've meditated together, and we've prayed together, and we've listened to these different traditions and practices. And something in us has likely opened up. Something has begun to shift in us as you've heard a practice or two that you're going to want to take home. And so I have this very brief guided meditation that I'll take you through. I want to make sure, though, did everybody get a peace bag when they walked in? Is anybody in need of one? Okay. Here. This one. Okay, so in your bag are some tools that we'll be using at the end of the guided meditation. And so there's a piece of paper and a pen and a little electric candle. And so you'll need those things as we move through this practice. And I'm going to give you some instructions after the meditation. So if you're willing, I invite you, now that you have your things available, to close your eyes or lower your gaze. And to take a deep breath. And take another deep breath. And feel the weight of your body in the seat. Feel your feet on the floor. And I invite you to bring to mind one place in the world that is carrying suffering right now. One place that might be struggling. It might be a war zone. It might be a community that's torn apart. A family you know that might be struggling. Or someone you love who is challenged. Or simply the weight of something you carried into this room. Now that we are supported by this sacred space that we have created together this morning, feeling the peace that we have called upon that is already alive deep within us, on your next inhale, I invite you to breathe in that challenge, that struggle, that place that you have identified in the world that is in need of peace. Not to fix it, not to solve it, just to hold it in the light of the sacred space within you, already activated and already alive. And as you breathe it in, simply exhale, breathing out whatever light you have to offer to it. The light of peace, of compassion, or maybe just the light of relief. Again, breathe in whatever pain you might be witnessing in the world and in your life and in your loved ones. And again, breathe out peace. And now I invite you to place one hand on your heart and offer these words silently first to yourself. And so as I say each line, I invite you to repeat this within your mind. May I be at peace. May I be held in compassion. May I be free. Now bring to mind someone you love. See their face. Silently say their name. And offer them this same blessing. May you be at peace. May you be held in compassion. May you be free. And now extend that circle outward, not only to everyone in this room, but to everyone in this community. To those we find difficult, to those whom we may never meet, to all beings everywhere. May you be at peace. May you be held in compassion. May you be free. And in the stillness, something has risen in you, likely a longing, perhaps a grief or a hope, a name, a wish for the world. Let this be your prayer. You don't need to find the perfect words. You just need to notice what is present and allow it to be your silent prayer in this moment. And as this prayer has come up for you, I invite you to gently open your eyes and write down a few words on the piece of paper you've been given. For this is the prayer that we will be offering to a prayer wall ritual that we're about to do. Perhaps it's a word, a name, a wish for peace that you have in your immediate surroundings or in the world. Whatever it is, you know what it is. It's perfect. And for those of us that are on the live stream, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. And I'm going to invite you to allow yourself to do the same ritual. Light a candle, find a piece of paper, write down your own prayer and put it in a significant place in your home. And thank you for joining us. And for those of you in the room today, I have some instructions so that we could actually keep the peace, so to speak, as we move about the room. We have prepared a sacred space in the courtyard. And so